Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá, Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá. Bí a kò bá lè gbé lápapọ̀, ṣe bó yẹ ká lè dá dúró. Ká jáwọ́ nú àpọ̀n tí kò yọ, ká tètè gbómi lákàná. Iléyá o, Iléyá, Iléyá o, ọmọ Odùduwà. Iléyá.
Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ètò yìí, ẹ má gbàgbé GoFundMe tá a pè ní Yorùbá Rescue Fund. Ẹ jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa ká lọ dá sí i nítorí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo wa ni. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ lọ sáìnì GoFundMe yẹn, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí gbogbo wa ká lọ fowó sí GoFundMe yẹn. Wọ́n pè ní Yorùbá Rescue Fund. GoFundMe táwa ṣí yìí tí gbogbo Yorùbá ni, kò sí bàbá ńlá bàbá kú anybody tó lè yọ sísì níbẹ̀. Sísì ẹ̀ ò lè sọnù àfi tẹ́mi onítọ̀hún bá fẹ́ parẹ́ ló kù. Kọ́bọ̀ ò lè sọnù níbẹ̀. Owó Yorùbá ni, owó gbogbo wa ni, kì í ṣowó bàbá ńlá mi, kì í ṣowó tiyín. Gbogbo ìpínlẹ̀ Yorùbá, gbogbo ọmọ tó ń bí nílẹ̀ Yorùbá àti tán ṣẹ̀ máa bí, àwọn ni wọ́n ní owó tá à ń sọ nípa ẹ̀. Tá a bá wá rí ẹnìkan tó ń lérò wípé ṣe ni wọ́n fẹ́ kó jẹ, gbogbo ẹni tó bá lérò yẹn tó ti ẹ̀rọ lọ́kàn ẹ̀ pé òun fẹ́ kówó yẹn jẹ àbí àpò òun lòun fẹ́ kówó yẹn sí, alálẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní jẹ́ kó lè ṣe é. Ṣó ti yé yín? Ìsáídà kí ẹ̀mí ẹ̀ má dijọ́ kejì àbí kí alálẹ̀ gbé àìsàn lé lọ́wọ́ kó má rojú ráyè láti ẹ̀ ti lè ronú pé òun fẹ́ kówó jẹ. Eléyìí gbogbo Yorùbá ló wà fún. Yorùbá Rescue Fund ni ohun tí wọ́n pè é. Àwọn Ìgbò ti ṣe, wọ́n ti gbowó ńláńlá rẹpẹtẹ billions ní àkáǹtì wọn. A ní kí Yorùbá ṣe é ṣe lágbógun tì. Kí ló ṣe wá? Ẹ̀yin náà lẹ kọ́kọ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀, ẹnu Yorùbá ò kò, ẹnu wa kò. Ẹ̀yin lẹni ibi. Ẹni bí dẹ̀ mọ rẹ̀, wọ́n ní ẹni bí mọ rẹ̀ òun ẹni tó máa sọ fún ni. Ẹ dẹ̀ ti mọra yín. Ẹ ti rí i pé gbogbo wa bọ́ síta ti sọ̀rọ̀ nípa GoFundMe yìí. Gbogbo àwọn bàbá wa ni wọ́n dẹ̀ mọ̀ sí GoFundMe yìí. Gbogbo àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àtọmọdé àtàgbà ni wọ́n mọ̀ sí GoFundMe page yìí. GoFundMe yìí kó lè tètè débi tó ń lọ, nítorí tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ píám, oúnjẹ la fẹ́ fi rà, oúnjẹ ìtẹ̀síwájú fún gbogbo wa. Wípé kébi má pa wá, ohun tá a fẹ́ fi ṣe nìyẹn. Àwa ní kí gbogbo wa lọ máa tọwọ́ bọ̀. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wa àárí bó tiẹ̀ jẹ́ pé ìbáà jẹ́ £1, ìbáà jẹ́ £5, ìka owó ò dọ́gba. Gbogbo ohun tí ẹ bá ti fi síbẹ̀, òun náà ni a gbà tí gbogbo wa dẹ̀ ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ẹ̀yin highest bidder tí Ọlọ́run ràn lọ́wọ́ náà, tẹ́ ń fi 700, tẹ́ ń fi 500, tẹ́ ń fi 100, a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. A sì mọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn wọ́n test ẹ̀ wò ni. Wọ́n fẹ́ mọ òdodo tó wà ńbẹ̀. Tí wọ́n bá ti mọ òdodo tó wà ńbẹ̀, ó ní 1 million máa wà tó máa fi síbẹ̀. Nítorí pé tẹ́ bá wá the best surgeon ní all over the world, ọmọ Yorùbá ni. Tẹ́ bá wá the best lawyer, solicitor, nurses, teachers, Yorùbá lẹ ti máa bá. Akàwé dé ojú àmì ni. Àwọn tó ní airports, Yorùbá ló wà nídìí ẹ̀. So àwọn tó yìí máa fún wa ní millions, pounds, dollars, wọ́n wà ńbẹ̀. Wọ́n ń wò bó ṣe ń lọ ni. Wọ́n fẹ́ make sure pé lóòótọ́ àti lódodo kì í ṣe pé wọ́n fẹ́ kó owó yìí jẹ o. Ó wà fún Yorùbá ni. Tó bá tásìkò ta fi wípé wọ́n nídìí nǹkan kan ní ilẹ̀ wa lọ́hùn-ún, pé wọ́n nídìí náírà kan ni, a máa ní ohun tí wọ́n ń pè ní evidence base, tí wọ́n máa gbé ìwé wá, tán máa kọ nǹkan tán fẹ́ fowó ṣe tí gbogbo àgbáyé máa gbọ́ sí kó tó di pé kọ́bọ̀ jáde nínú owó tẹ́ ń fi síbẹ̀ yẹn. So ẹ fọkàn yín balẹ̀. Mi ò mọ assurance tá a tún fẹ́ fún yín tójú yẹn náà lọ. Wípé ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa máa dára, ó tilẹ̀ ti ń dára. Ẹ wá lọ fi owó síbẹ̀, nítorí nígbà tí a bá máa nídìí owó yìí, ṣégbà yẹn la ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ máa sáré. Máa sáré ẹ́tàskẹ́tà. Ẹ má jẹ́ kó dìgbà yẹn. Ẹ jẹ́ káwa náà pọnmi sílẹ̀ dòǹgbẹ bí àwọn Ìgbò ẹgbẹ́ wa. Á dẹ̀ júṣe fún wa. mi mọ̀ bóyá bàbá gbọ́ngbà tá a kọrin Èkìtì fún wọn tá a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn. Bàbá ṣe gbọ́ngbà yẹn.
Mo gbọ́ nígbà yẹn.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá wa, ẹ pẹ́ fún wa. So, àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ní gbogbo àgbáláyé ni wọ́n ní kí n kí yín bàbá. Wọ́n ní ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun tẹ́ ń ṣe. Nítorí pé afọ́jú ló máa sọ pé òun ò ríṣẹ́ yín. Adití ló dẹ̀ máa lóun ò gbọ́ iṣẹ́ tẹ́ ń ṣe. Nítorí náà, a gbọ́ a sì rí ipa iṣẹ́ tẹ́ ń ṣe. Wọ́n ní kí n máa dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Wọ́n ní kí n kí yín tológun tológun. Wọ́n ní kí n kí yín tẹ̀ṣọ́ tẹ̀ṣọ́. Wọ́n ní kí n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín wípé ẹ ṣeun. Wọ́n ní tí ò bá sí ti Ọlọ́run, tí ò bá sí ti ẹ̀yin, báwo la bá ṣe gbọ́ òkìkí pé Yorùbá fẹ́ dá dúró? Wọ́n lé ẹ̀yin gangan ni a mọ̀ ní òjíṣẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí Ọlọ́run rán. A lè fi yín wé àwọn olórúkọ ìgbàanì bíi Jésù Kristi, bíi Muhammed tí Ọlọ́run rán níṣẹ́. Wọ́n ní Ọlọ́run rán yín níṣẹ́ ni a dẹ̀ ríṣẹ́ tẹ́ jẹ́. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín. Wọ́n ní kí n dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín bàbá. Mi ò lè ròyìn tán bí gbogbo ọmọ káàárọ̀ òjíire ní gbogbo àgbáyé ṣe ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. We are all very proud of you, Daddy. And àdúrà la dẹ̀ ń gbà fún yín lójoojúmọ́. Ẹ pẹ́ fún wa sà.
Ẹ ṣé ẹ kú iṣẹ́ náà.
Bàbá ẹ bá mi kí àwọn ọmọ yín tí wọ́n wà lórí ètò. Gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n wà ń bíbá yìí tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbọ́ yín. Ẹ bá mi tiẹ̀ kí wọn kán gbóhùn yín dáadáa.
Ẹ ṣé o, mo kí gbogbo yín ẹ kú iwájú o. Gbogbo ọmọ ẹ káàárọ̀ ẹ jíire. Gbogbo ọmọ Oòduà lóko lómi ní Nàìjíríà, ní Benin Republic, ní Togo àti countries Africa mìíràn gbogbo, àti l'Amẹ́ríkà, ní Europe, ní Asia, ní Australasia, that is Australia and New Zealand, and all the countries of the small countries in the oceans of the world where Yoruba people live, and from where you have called me, because I have been called from more than 170 countries across the world. I thank you all. I am happy that you have woken up and you are responding to the needs of the Yoruba nation. Thank you very much. You called me out, a few people gathered, because even if there were 1,000 people who held a meeting and called me and asked me to come and provide leadership in this struggle, I still regard them as a few people, because there are millions of Yoruba people who are interested, not just interested, who are passionate about this struggle. And the Lord Almighty, the God of our fathers, the land of our father, the spirit of our fathers, will give us the victory, so that in a short time from now on, we will be speaking from our own country and not part of any other country. Thank you very much.
A dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa. Ẹ ṣáà ti rò pé bàbá wa olóyìnbó ni wọ́n. Tá bá pèèyàn ní pòfẹ́sọ̀, wọn ò lè sọ Yorùbá dáadáa báwa ṣe pè láì má fòyìnbó. Ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa. Ẹ ṣeun sà.
Mo lè sọ
a máa rí yín bá wa. Èkìtì nìyẹn for you. Èkìtì nìyẹn for you. Ọmọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ nìyẹn for you. Akàwé lójú àmì. Ìdí nìyẹn tẹ́ ṣe rí pé òyìnbó dán mọ́rán lẹ́nu bàbá wa gidi gan ni. I was proud of you. Ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́ tí mo fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín bàbá mi. Mo ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí olùdásílẹ̀ Yorùbá World Congress àti olùdásílẹ̀ ọmọ Oòduà, Ila'nọ ỌmọOodua. Ẹ ṣé bàbá mi. Ǹjẹ́ ẹ lè sọ fún wa bàbá báwo ni méjèèjì ṣe jọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ṣókí láì má gbà yín lákòókò?
Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí àwọn èèyàn wa kóra jọ, organization bíi 40 ní Ìbàdàn ní August 22 ní ọdún tó kọjá 2019, àwa ó tó bí oṣù kan kí n tó gbà nǹkan tí ẹ fẹ́ pè mí sí mo máa ṣe. Nǹkan tí mo dẹ̀ ń rò ń gbà yẹn náà ni wípé mo ti dàgbà, ó tọ́ mo ń káàkiri, mo ń ṣe lecture káàkiri mo ń sòótọ́ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá, mo dẹ̀ ń sọ fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ jí gìrì, ṣùgbọ́n mi ò fi sí ọ sọ́kàn pé mo fẹ́ ṣe lídà àwọn tó máa ṣe nǹkan kan. Nígbà tí wọ́n wá pè mí tani wọ́n yàn mí, mi ò mọ bá ń ṣe ṣèpàdé, mi ò mọ̀ nípa ìpàdé, mi ò mọ àwọn tó pè ìpàdé. Àgbà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ dédé wá ń pariwo mi lórí tí wọ́n dẹ̀ fi tẹlifóònù pè mí congratulation mo ní kí nìyẹn. Ìgbà tó yá ṣá mo ṣáà mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ, but mi ò lè dáhùn. Ó tó oṣù kan kí n tó lè dáhùn. Wọ́n ń tì mí, wọ́n ń bẹ̀ mí, wọ́n ń fà mí, wọ́n lọ ránṣẹ́ gbogbo èèyàn sí mi, wọ́n lọ sí ààfin Ìwé Adó Èkìtì pé kó jọ kó bẹ̀ mí kí n gbà. Àwọn ọba Èkìtì kan máa bẹ̀ mí, àti ọba mìíràn gbogbo àwọn ọba ńláńlá nílẹ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n bẹ̀ sí bẹ̀ wọ́n pé kán ṣáà bẹ̀ mí kí n gbà. Kò dẹ̀ tí ì pẹ́ tí mo dé sí Nàìjíríà ń gbà yẹn, kò fi bẹ́ẹ̀ yé mi tó pé kí ló wá dé. Nígbà tó yá ṣá mo wá find out, mo wá gbà, mo ní mo gbà. Lẹ́yìn yẹn mo wá ṣùgbọ́n gbígbà tí mo gbà yìí o, kì í ṣe gbígbà kẹwàá máa pè mí ní dídà káàkiri ò yẹn ò jẹ́ nǹkan kan fún mi o. Nǹkan tó máa wúlò ni pé ká dá ẹgbẹ́ kan sílẹ̀ tá a máa lò láti máa ṣe ètò bá ṣe máa gbára wa sílẹ̀ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ni wọ́n gbà. So àwa pè ìpàdé ńlá rẹpẹtẹ kan ní Ìbàdàn ní October 10 ní last year. Àwa ṣe ìpàdé yẹn, ibẹ̀ ni mo tún wá sọ pé ẹgbẹ́ tí mo ní ẹ máa dá sílẹ̀ yẹn a máa pe orúkọ ẹ̀ ní Yorùbá World Congress. Wọ́n dẹ̀ gbà unanimously. Èmi náà ni mo máa lead wọn in the Yorùbá World. Bá a ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn. Well, we made our mistakes, but God has been very kind to us. Ara nǹkan tí mo promise ńgbà yẹn ni pé àwa tá a wà Nàìjíríà akọ̀ alágbára kàwé náà lóòótọ́, ṣùgbọ́n àwa ò lè gba Yorùbá nílẹ̀ tá a bá kó àwọn diaspora wa mọ́ra. So ara ẹsẹ̀ kínní tá a máa gbé ni wípé à á lọ bá àwọn diaspora wa, à bẹ̀ wọ́n pé ẹ dìde, ogun ti dé o, ìlànà dẹ̀ ti dé fún Yorùbá, ẹ dìde, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ pọwọ́ pọ̀ ká lè gbára wa sílẹ̀. Ètò náà yà mí lẹ́nu bó ṣe lọ. Because nígbà tó máa fi tóṣù kan oṣù méjì, gbogbo èèyàn wọn ti ń pè mí láti gbogbo orílẹ̀-èdè ayé, small countries like Papua New Guinea, etc., Cambodia. Èmi máa ń sọ tí n bá rántí gbogbo bó ṣe rìn, bó ṣe dàbí ìgbà tí iná bá kán sínú igbó. Èmi máa ń sọ wípé àwa ọmọ ènìyàn kọ́ la ṣe o, pé Ọlọ́run fúnra rẹ̀ tó fẹ́ràn Yorùbá ló ṣe. Ìgbà tá a máa fi ṣe ìpàdé ìkíní by Zoom fún gbogbo wa ní May 2020 lọ́dún yìí, àwọn èèyàn tó wá pé 1,862 from 27 different countries. Ó yà wá lẹ́nu púpọ̀, but nígbà tó máa tó October 1 tá à ń ṣe tá ní kí àwọn èèyàn wa ní abroad ẹ lè ṣe rally o, àwọn èèyàn wa nílé ẹjọ́ ẹ ṣọ́ra ò torí ara ìjọba ti bí kan o, wọ́n dẹ̀ fẹ́ràn Yorùbá, tẹ́ bá bọ́ síta wọ́n á yìnbọn sí yín o. So tẹ́ bá máa ṣe rally ẹ ṣe ní jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́jẹ́ bá ṣe ṣe rally Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn tá a ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ rí, tí ẹnìkankan ò jà, tẹnìkan ò mú ẹnìkankan, tẹnìkankan ò farapa, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kẹ́ jẹ́ ká ṣe ní Nàìjíríà. Ṣùgbọ́n abroad, do what you want to do, because the governments and the laws of those countries allow you freedom to do what you want to do. The result is that we had rallies in 166 countries across the world. Yoruba rallies in 166 countries across the world. The grace of God, we have our diaspora, and the march forward has started. The train towards Yoruba self-determination has left the station and it is towards its destination. My prayer is that all of you will be alive to see it. And I, your father, will sit, will participate in it, will glorify God in it with you. That is our goal.
Thank you, sir.
That's our success. But we've had difficulties. Part of the difficulty is that we Yoruba people have become very seriously brutalized in Nigeria. Economic poverty, serious shattering deprivation. Our people are living in such hopelessness that it is difficult to really gather people together to accomplish much. And so we have had situations in which everybody is trying to do his own thing. Everybody thinks of himself. That's what happens when the people have been living in deprivation and poverty and hopelessness. Everybody begins to think of himself. And so we have had difficulties in which, while we are pursuing a particular line, another person will start something in then some corner that will tend to create disruption. Then there is another very major factor. There are people among us who just cannot believe that the Yoruba people want a country of their own, who don't want a country of the Yoruba nation. They want to stay in Nigeria. And some of them are very powerful, very rich, and very ambitious about political power in Nigeria. And they don't like what we have been saying. They don't like what we have been saying. And so they have used their power, their money, to cause disruption among us. For instance, after we had encouraged our government to start Amatekun, which is one of our major successes, some people gathered a handful of people, about 15 or together, to demonstrate in city after city in Nigeria to say Amatekun is an instrument created by Banji Akintoye and some others to break up Nigeria. So, Mr. President of Nigeria, declare Amatekun illegal and arrest the people who are promoting it. Then, when we held a meeting in Ibadan at which we proclaimed that our goal is self-determination for the Yoruba nation, and after I had held a television program at which I said, Yoruba people, especially Yoruba young men and women, you are free to say what you want to say. And that is that we Yoruba people, a separate country of our own out of Nigeria. You can say that in the streets, you can say it to your friends, you can say it in your schools, you can say it to your parents, you can say it to your friends, you can go to the marketplace and say it, you can go to your workplace and say it. It is not against the law, because every nation in the world has the inalienable right of self-determination, and every people has a right to say, we want to exercise that self-determination. That's the law of the United Nations. It's the law of the African Union. It's the law of the international community. And Nigeria is a signatory to these laws. Therefore, all those laws are Nigerian laws, and under them you can proclaim that you want your country. The only thing you cannot do, those laws say, these laws do not authorize you to start trouble, violence, insurrection in your country. So don't talk insurrection, don't talk violence. Just say that you want your country, and leave that to a higher level of citizens among you to begin to gather all of these passions together to produce the instruments that will lead us to self-determination. Then a week later, some people gathered some people together to come and demonstrate through the streets of Ibadan to say, we Yoruba don't want self-determination. We don't want to leave Nigeria. And we know that they were organized and paid to do so by politicians. So we have that problem. We also have the problem that the same people who are doing those things are also trying to influence people among us to turn against their brethren in the organization where we are working together. And so we have seen the result of that. Suddenly, people who are making the biggest noise about self-determination now turn around and say, really, it is better for us to be talking of restructuring. It is safer, and so on. So suddenly we become enemies to one another, and our organization becomes disrupted. So much so that the Yoruba World Congress got bogged down in a series of peace meetings that achieved nothing. And so some of us who are serious about the struggle thought, peace meeting la mama ṣe káàkiri láíláí rárá o ẹja wọnà mìíràn. So abandon Yoruba World Congress with its endless peace meetings and start something that really goes to the heart of the matter. That's why we arrived at the idea of Ila'nọ ỌmọOodua. The reason we have chosen a Yoruba name is that we are a Yoruba liberation movement. Why should we be bearing a foreign name? That's another thing. It is not even we ourselves who decided that. Our elders have been sending to us from various parts of Yoruba land. Listen, Prof, you say you want to liberate Yoruba land. You want to uplift Yoruba culture. You want to revive Yoruba language. And when you sat down to create a name for the organization that was going to do all of that, you are giving it an English name? Really? So we decided, okay, when we change our name, we are going to change it to a Yoruba name. That's why we chose Ila'nọ ỌmọOodua. And the idea is an organization that can face the task, that is very carefully selective in its membership and its leadership, and tries to prevent from the beginning the possibility of what happened in Yoruba World Congress. That's the story, simply. But it hasn't been easy. There are people who say, oh, we are going to fight them. But there is nothing they want to fight us. They cannot fight us because we are not disputing anything with anybody. They don't want Yoruba world. They don't want Yoruba self-determination. That's what we want. So our roads have diverged. They can go looking for restructuring or whatever they may call it. We go single-mindedly looking for Yoruba self-government, Yoruba self-determination, Yoruba sovereignty in the world. That is the situation. We know that the vast majority of that is what you want. That's what you are telling me every day that you want. I went on television, on a television program a few weeks ago, and I said, wow, I have started a big trouble for myself because now I am no longer able to sleep. People are calling me from all over the world in all hours of the day because they are excited about what they're hearing. They want their own country. And so I cannot shut down my phone. I want to hear them. That's the problem. I want to hear them. I cannot shut down my phone. I want to hear them. It is music to my ears. When young people, our brethren, our sons and daughters, call me from a small country like Papua New Guinea, I say, Baba, I want to hear that. So at some point, I didn't know what to do because it was beginning to affect my health. Held on, and I'm still healthy by the grace of God. So that's the work. But beyond that, above that, below that, we are doing a great deal of other things that will take us to the goal. Those things are they are not the things that can be talking about openly in a program like this.
Ṣé wọ́n bá yín gbé tí ìsẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ yín torí mo fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ máa dúró kẹ́ ẹ mu nǹkan nítorí a fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ wà lára líle. Gbogbo tá à ń ṣe yìí, ojú yín báyìí, gbogbo tá à ń ṣe báyìí lójú yín ló ṣe máa ṣẹlẹ̀, kò ní ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn yín, ẹ fojú rí, ẹ jẹ àjẹyó ń bẹ̀. Nítorí náà ẹni tó bá wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ bàbá, ẹ bá mi gbé mímu tẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn, ẹ bá mi wá nǹkan tó lè máa mu díẹ̀díẹ̀, mi ìfẹ́ ká ni wọ́n lára púpọ̀, díẹ̀díẹ̀ báyìí ni wọ́n máa sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn. Ẹ ṣeun bàbá wa, Ọlọ́run á jẹ́ kẹ́ pẹ́ fún ọjọ́ yín á túbọ̀ dáná ju báyìí lọ. Mo lérò wípé gbogbo àwa tí à ń béèrè ọ̀rọ̀, nítorí wọ́n ní abèrè ọ̀rọ̀ kì í ṣìnà, abèrè ni a dẹ̀ ti gbọ́ ìdí tí wọ́n fi dá ìlànà ọmọ Yorùbá sílẹ̀. Wọ́n gbé orúkọ kúrò ní Yorùbá World Congress nítorí wípé àwọn àgbààgbà ń béèrè. Àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sọ pé kí ni nǹkan fi jẹ́ orúkọ òyìnbó, kí áfíríkà máa jẹ́ orúkọ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá wa. Ó ní wọ́n ṣe bí ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà tí wọ́n kúrò ní Yorùbá World Congress. Bàbá ẹ ṣe fún àlàyé ìjẹ́ lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀. Síbẹ̀síbẹ̀, àwọn èèyàn sọ wípé àwọn kẹ́kẹ́ máa bá wa sọ Yorùbá pọ̀ ju òyìnbó lọ. Nítorí wọ́n rí pé òyìnbó lẹ bá wa sọ. Tó bá jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ a kúrò ní Yorùbá Congress torí kó jó òyìnbó, kábọ̀nù ọmọ tó jẹ́ ìpínlẹ̀ láti sọ èdè abínibí wa. Ẹ ṣe bá ìbéèrè tí wọ́n rè ó ní wípé ọ̀nà bí sí ìbéèrè àkọ́kọ́ wípé a gbọ́ awuyewuye tó ń lọ sí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Victor Taiwo tí wọ́n kọ síta, tí wọ́n kọ communique yẹn síta wípé wọ́n ti yọ bàbá Akintoye àti Yorùbá leader. A dẹ̀ mọ̀, nǹkan táwa mọ̀ tó dá wa lójú ni pé Professor Banji Akintoye ni leader Yorùbá World Congress. Nígbà tí wọ́n kúrò ní Yorùbá World Congress tí wọ́n tún di ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà, àwọn still náà ni leader. Àwọn ń gbọ́ awuyewuye tí wọ́n tẹ gbogbo kìíní sí gbogbo àgbáyé wípé àwọn àpọ̀ Yorùbá wọ́n ti yọ bàbá wa Professor Banji Akintoye kúrò ní olórí Yorùbá World Congress àbí ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà. Bàbá ṣe lè bá wa tan ìmọ́lẹ̀ sí àwọn wo ló yọ yín? Nítorí pé arákùnrin kan tá a mọ̀ sí George Akínọlá tí mo ti bá sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ètò yìí, wọ́n ní wọ́n forúkọ àwọn sí as part of it. Wọ́n ní kò sún tó jọ. Wọ́n ní bàbá Akintoye remains a leader forever. Àwọn ò mọ àwọn tó ṣe. Bàbá kí lẹ rí sọ sí nǹkan tí Victor Taiwo tí wọ́n kọ tí wọ́n ṣàkíyèsí káàkiri nípa pé wọ́n yọ yín kúrò lólórí gẹ́gẹ́ bí olórí ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà àti Yorùbá World Congress.
Victor Taiwo nìkan ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Right.
Victor Taiwo nìkan ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀, kò sẹ́nì kankan tó bá sọ. Ó ń pè pàdé láti sọ, ó dẹ̀ kọ ìwé wá rẹpẹtẹ tó ń bú mi tó ń ṣe pé torí náà kan yọ mí kan fòun dípò. Gbogbo àwọn èèyàn tó wà ń bẹ̀ náà kégbèrè lórí pé what are you talking about? Speech tó kọ wá bẹ̀ gan wọn jẹ́ kó kà á tán, wọ́n gbà á lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní kó jókòó síbẹ̀ kó máa gbọ́ nǹkan táwọn sọ. Wọ́n dẹ̀ pera wọn ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ wà ń bì ṣé bàbá wa Akintoye ní leader wa títí láéláé. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ní bẹ́ẹ̀, gbogbo wọn dẹ̀ ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ìgbà bíi mẹ́ta bíi mẹ́rin ni wọ́n sọ tí gbogbo wọn dẹ̀ ń pariwo pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, kò sẹ́nì kankan tó sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́. Ìgbà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ tán wọ́n kúrò ń bẹ̀. Oúnjẹ tí Taiwo gbé wá fẹ́ wá ṣọdún pé wọ́n yàn òun ní leader Yorùbá, oúnjẹ tó gbé wá kò sẹ́ni tó bá jẹ́. So bó ṣe jẹ́ ni, but kí nǹkan tí mo kàn fẹ́ sọ nípa Victor Taiwo ni. Victor Taiwo is a young man tó máa ń káàkiri, tó máa ń pariwo pé ọ̀rọ̀ ọyọ Yorùbá jẹun lógún, ó jẹun lógún, ó jẹun lógún. Kò pẹ́ tí mo dé láti Amẹ́ríkà tó wá bá mi pé ọ̀rọ̀ òun lè gba Yorùbá sílẹ̀, òun nìkan òun lọ́gbọ́n tóun lè lò láti gba Yorùbá sílẹ̀. Tèmi òun mọ̀ pé professor lèmi, mi ò lówó, ṣùgbọ́n tí n bá lè bá òun gba owó lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó lówó, tí n gbé 10 million fóun, òun á gba Yorùbá sílẹ̀ láìpẹ́ ọdún kan. Kí ló ṣe fẹ́ ṣe? Ó ní secret ni òun ò lè sọ fún mi. So èmi ò dẹ̀ lè wá lọ máa gbowó lọ́wọ́ ẹnikẹ́ni fún ẹni tó ní secret tí mi ò mọ nǹkan pa ẹ̀. I don't want to be the source of 419 taking money from other people. But Victor Taiwo is a boy who knows how to warm himself into the embraces of leaders. I hear he has done so regularly over the past 20 or more years, more than 20 years. He was one of the closest young men to Chief Bolage in the Chief Bolage's last years. And he ended up abusing and insulting Chief Bolage so egregiously in a letter that Chief Bolage burst into tears reading that letter. Yeah. He did more or less the same thing with Justice Thompson, Justice Adewale Thompson. He goes about saying that he's been betrayed by Yoruba leaders. He has been betrayed by Bolage, by Justice Adewale Thompson, by Abraham Adesanya, by everybody, now by Banji Akintoye. So it is his stock in trade. It is his stock in trade. And if you see some of the letters he has written praising me, you'll be surprised that he has now turned around to say, I am the worst human being in the world. But that is his stock in trade. He wrote a book and brought it to me to say he wanted to publish it. I had been worried. How does this young man earn a living? It wasn't clear. But then I decided we must help him. So when he brought a book to say he had just written this book, and he brought a letter from the publishers demanding 1.25 million naira to publish it, I said, okay, we'll find the money for him. So we found the money and gave him 1.5 million to go and publish the book. My thinking at that time was, I know that Nigerians don't buy books. But if you write a book and you use the influence of your friends and so on to organize a book launching or a book presentation, you can make enough money from that event. So that's what we were planning for him. But a week or two after the book was published, he just came to me where I was staying in Ibadan, where I was attending a meeting in Ibadan, and he brought a whole bag load of letters. What are these? I planned the book launching. People don't plan book launching like that. You give yourself a long time and get your friends to do it thoroughly for you and with you. He said, no, he has done it, he has planned it, and so on. And he gave me letters to the governors to go and give to them. I said, well, do the governors know you? He said, I don't know any of them, and none of them knows me. So what is my giving them your letter do to do when you don't know them and they don't know you? He said, if I give to them, they will come. Okay. So I gave the letters to my assistant to go and distribute to the governors, and they acknowledged receipt of it. But none of them knew the person who was doing the thing, and none of them came. On the day of the event itself, to go and put out a fire that was about to ignite there in the relationship between the traditional rulers and the government. And so the book launching was a flop. He didn't make much money from it, not even 1/10 of the money he had spent in publishing the book. It's a great pity. And I had assured him that, okay, you flunked it, you failed that, but we will gather together and do a family launching sometime. Just give us time, let us settle down. But he has this penchant of writing rude letters all the time. Hardly a week has passed since he came into my life in the last year that he had not written a rude letter to me. I'll give you an example. When coronavirus was starting, I know that our organization was of young organizations that were always holding meetings. I sent a general circular letter to all our organizations to say, please suspend all meetings for now. There is this thing called coronavirus. We don't know much about it, but people abroad are making a lot of noise about it. So let us suspend all our meetings for now. Taiwo picked up his pen and wrote to me immediately. who is giving Baba this silly advice? I called him, Victor, you calling me silly? So that's the type of person that he is. But for me, the bottom line is this. I do not fight any Yoruba person. I do not do anything that will harm any Yoruba person. Àwa Yorùbá máa ń sọ pé ọmọ tó ń ṣe burúkú lénìí ó lè jẹ́ òun ló máa ṣe dáadáa jù lọ́la o. Nítorí náà mi ò lè bá Victor Taiwo jà, mo kàn ń rẹ́rìn ni. Gbogbo ìtìjú tó lọ dá fún ara ẹ̀ ní ìjọ tó pè pàdé níjọ́ Wednesday kò ní ìdí ẹ̀. It has done a lot of to his image because gbogbo àwọn tó kójọ àwọn tó fún ara ẹ̀ pè wá sí pàdé gbogbo wọn náà túmọ̀ lójú tán sọ pé eléyìí tó ṣe lénìí ó ṣetán o. Ẹ̀kan pè mí ó ní àbùkù tí Victor Taiwo gbà lénìí bí ò gba àbùkù mìíràn mọ́ níjọ́ ayé ẹ̀ eléyìí tó gbà lénìí ó tó distribute over the rest of his life. So I am sorry. I am very finished this. I am very sorry for my son Victor. I wish he had not done what he has done. And I wish he will now learn to respect the leaders he comes close to. My type of leadership is that regards all Yoruba young people as my children, my sons and daughters. If you want to come close to me, you will find it easy to come close to me, whether you are a man or woman. And I have made a vow in my life. Nobody who comes close to me will fail to benefit from coming close to me. I have helped a lot of young people in my life. There are many people who are now important people in Nigeria who, by the grace of God, had some help from me when they were young. That's my life. I cannot stop it. I cannot stop Victor Taiwo. If he comes back to me to say, Baba, I need help, I will help him. That's the truth of the matter. We are slaves in Nigeria. Slaves should not be fighting slaves. Slaves should be joining hands to find out of slavery. That is my motto for all that I do in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you, Baba. Adúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín. Ẹ̀kọ́ pàtàkì lélẹ́yìí fún gbogbo àwa tá a máa ń jẹra wa lẹ́sẹ̀. Oníkálukú ló ní ẹ̀bùn tiẹ̀ tí Ọlọ́run fún. Oníkálukú ló dẹ̀ ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ tiẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Níbi tí ẹnìkan bá ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ lójú méjèèjì ní níwọ̀nba tó mọ̀ ọ́ ṣe, ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sílẹ̀. Ẹgbẹ́ criticism ní ẹgbẹ́ sọ́wọ́ kan. We know what our father stands for. We are appreciative of him. I will continue to do that. Bàbá adúpẹ́ púpọ̀ lọ́wọ́ yín kó kúkú nírẹ̀yìn lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ìbéèrè tá a tún fẹ́ béèrè. Nísìnyí tí ẹ ti kúrò ẹ ti yí orúkọ padà kúrò ní YWC tó ti di Ìlànà ỌmọOodua. Bàbá àwọn kan sì ń jẹ́ orúkọ YWC yẹn. Kí ló máa ṣẹlẹ̀? Ṣé méjèèjì máa lọ ni? Àbí ẹ ti kúrò ẹ ti wà ní Ìlànà ọmọ Yorùbá, Ìlànà ỌmọOodua? Àbẹ́ ṣì ń ṣe méjèèjì papọ̀ nítorí àwọn kan dúró lórí orúkọ yẹn. Àwọn kan náà ń sọ wípé àwọn ò mọ̀ nípa Ìlànà ỌmọOodua o, àwọn ò dẹ̀ mọ̀ ń pẹ̀ YWC làwọn. Bàbá kílẹ̀ ní kò síbẹ̀ yẹn.
Ṣe méjèèjì pọ̀. Yoruba World Congress has become a damaged tool. And so we have given it up. No warrior goes to the battle with a crooked sword. We have thrown away the crooked sword and picked up a new sword. And that is what we will fight with from now on. That's all. We don't know what will happen to Yoruba World Congress. That's it.
Ẹ ṣé bàbá mi. Nípa pé Ìlànà ỌmọOodua là ń jẹ́ ń sìn yìí, orúkọ tó dẹ̀ dára tó rẹwà tó ṣe gbọ́ létí ni. Bàbá kí la máa ṣe sí àwọn ẹgbẹ́ kan tí wọ́n sì dúró? Wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ pé lóòótọ́ ẹ̀yin ni olórí àwọn. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n ṣe àpèjúwe. àwọn tó wà ní ìlú UK níbi tí mo wà yìí wọ́n sọ wípé YWC làwọn ń jẹ́ o, àwọn ò mọ̀ nípa ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà. Bàbá Akintoye dẹ̀ sì ni olórí àwọn, wọn ò dẹ̀ fẹ́ kúrò ní YWC àtàwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Kí lẹ fẹ́ rí sọ sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí bàbá?
Àwọn kan tí téèyàn bá nǹkan téèyàn ti lò lọ́dún kan tó ti dàbí pé ó lérè púpọ̀, ó dẹ̀ lérè náà púpọ̀ o, ó kàn jẹ́ pé wàhálà ẹ̀ ló wà pọ̀ jù. Kò yà mí lẹ́nu pé wọ́n máa rí lára àwọn ọmọ mi tó máa sọ pé àbúrò ní Yorùbá World Congress òun la máa jókòó tì tó bá yá wọn tẹ̀lé wa, torí wọ́n bá wo wá tán wò ẹ̀yìn tó kà wọ́n nìkan wọ́n sá wá, bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn.
So adúpẹ́ pọ̀ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa, ẹ rí àwọn ètò tí wọ́n fún wa, wọ́n fi ń yé wọn gbogbo àwa tá a wà káàkiri gbogbo àgbáyé, a jẹ́ YWC mọ́. Ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà lórúkọ wa. Bàbá wa Prof Banji Akintoye, àwọn ni olórí wa. Wọ́n dẹ̀ máa kó wa pẹ̀lú pé tá a fi máa dé ilẹ̀ ìlérí àníwá wọn tì. Nítorí pé tí pẹ́pẹ́yẹ bá ń kọ́ ọmọ ẹ̀rìn, ó máa ń ṣu ojú ọ̀tún àtòkè òfin ṣọ́ wọn ni. Bàbá ń fi gbogbo ojú wọn náà fi ń káàdì wa wípé àmàdélẹ̀ ìlérí yẹn ó dẹ̀ di dandan ká débẹ̀ lágbára Ọlọ́run. Bàbá a kí yín fún iṣẹ́ takuntakun tí ẹ̀ ń ṣe. Níbi tí ọ̀rọ̀ wá dé yìí, bàbá ti yànnàná ọ̀rọ̀. A ti mọ àwọn tí wọ́n ń gbé tí àwọn agbẹ̀bẹ̀bọ jẹ́, tí wọ́n ń sọ oríṣiríṣi wípé wọ́n yọ bàbá. Kò sẹ́ni tó yọ bàbá kúrò ní ẹni ìgbé àwọn ẹ̀sẹ̀ tó yọ wọ́n. Will remain back for life. Kò sẹ́ni tó lè gba bàbá lọ́wọ́ wa. Ọlọ́run kò ní gba bàbá lọ́wọ́ wa lásìkò ọjọ́ wọn á túbọ̀ dalẹ̀ sí i. Bàbá, mo fẹ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín. Ẹ sọ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan. Ẹ ní ẹ̀yin gẹ́gẹ́ bí bàbá gbogbo ilẹ̀ fẹ́ràn wa déédéé. Ẹlẹ́dẹ̀ ní bá ọmọ Yorùbá àbí ọmọ Oòduà, ẹ̀ ní bá wọn ní gbólóhùn aṣọ bó ṣe lè kó mọ́. Ṣé kò ń ṣe pé bí àwa bí ẹ̀ ń ṣe àwọn kò ń fà á wálẹ̀? Kí ló dá tí táwọn tí ṣe kan tó jẹ́ pé ṣe dáadáa àfẹ́ fà á lulẹ̀? Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń bá wa gbé lọ wípé kí gbogbo wa kí Yorùbá púpọ̀ ló pe ẹrú ká dá dúró. Àwọn kan sọ pé restructuring làwọn dúró lé lórí. Mo wá béèrè pé kí ló dé tó jẹ́ pé àwa Yorùbá máa ń hùwà yẹn. Tó jẹ́ pé tá a bá rí i pé èèyàn kan ṣe dáadáa àfẹ́ fà á wálẹ̀. Kí lẹ lè bá wa ní sọ sí bàbá yìí?
Ó ti wá yé mi báyìí. Ṣé ẹ rí gbogbo wa àwa Yorùbá á pọ̀ púpọ̀. In Nigeria alone, we are 56 million. In Benin Republic and Togo Republic together, about 5 million. In the diaspora, there is we divide the diaspora into two. The old diaspora of the 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th century forced migration through slavery. That's diaspora number one. We call it the older diaspora. Then there is the second diaspora, which started only maybe 100 years ago. When we put in Brazil alone, we have about 7 million. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ èèyàn wà lára wa Nàìjíríà tán rí jẹ nídìí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Tán rí jẹ tán ẹsẹ̀ wọn ti wọlé, ọkàn wọn ti wọbẹ̀, ẹnu wọn sì ti kún láti bẹ̀. Nǹkan táwọn ń rò ní pé gbára bá ní Yorùbá country ara wa ṣé àwọn lè rí jẹ tó tẹ́lẹ̀ yìí bẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ ti sọ fún ara wọn pé kò lè ṣe é o. Irú corruption tó ń fún wa lágbára bí kò lè sí nílẹ̀ Oòduà o. Therefore, ilẹ̀ Oòduà ibi tá a wà ní ẹ jẹ́ ká dúró sí torí nǹkan tá a wà ní jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ fúnra wa. Àwọn kan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn o. Àwọn mìíràn wà tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ti jẹ ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n súnmọ́ lọ́lá tó bá yá wọ́n máa rí jẹ. Therefore, chance tó ń bọ̀ yẹn wọn ò fẹ́ kó sọnù therefore àwọn ò fẹ́ àwọn ò fẹ́ ilẹ̀ Oòduà. Àwọn kan wà tó jẹ́ pé kò tiẹ̀ yé wọn kàwé yes but wọn really understand nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀. Oh, my country Nigeria, my country Nigeria. They don't ask themselves what is happening to them in their country Nigeria. You meet them in academics, in academia, and in the professions, and so on, at the elite, and so on. But the vast majority of Yoruba people, the vast majority of the Yoruba elite, the vast majority of the poor Yoruba people, the vast majority of Yoruba school children in schools and universities have taken a decision that the only way the Yoruba nation will begin to rise up in the world again out of the present poverty and deprivation and hopelessness is to have a country of our own. And we have put all the statistics together. When the materials that our intellectuals are putting together for this purpose begin to hit the world will marvel at our tolerance. Wọ́n rí àwọn ẹgbẹ́ mi abroad tó ń gbèrè lọ kí ilẹ̀ ẹ̀yin náà ń wà kí lẹ ṣe rìn tó jẹ́ pé gbogbo ẹni dàrú bí eléyìí ẹ̀dẹ̀ jókòó síbẹ̀ why? Jókòó síbẹ̀ mọ́ o. Jókòó síbẹ̀ mọ́. Àwọn tó bá ṣì ń sọ pé àwọn rí jẹ báyìí lókù dẹ́ káwọn rí jẹ àbí pé kò tiẹ̀ yé wọn tó bá yá máa yé wọn o. The train of Yoruba self-determination has left the station, the train station. It is heading now towards its goal. And from the way we are seeing things, not look as if the goal is far away. We will help to speed it up as it goes along. That is it. Thank you.
Ṣé bàbá, àwọn ọmọ yín ní ká béèrè pé ṣé ìbáṣepọ̀ tó dán mọ́rán wà láàárín ẹ̀yin àgbààgbà yòókù gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá tí ẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa pé ká dá dúró yìí? Ṣé ìbáṣepọ̀ tó dán mọ́rán wà láàárín yín àti àwọn ọlọ́ba? Wọ́n ní kí n béèrè tó yẹ kí n lọ sí orí àwọn ọmọ wa tí wọ́n jà fún EndSARS ló máa kàn lẹ́yìn ìbéèrè yìí ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní kí kọ́kọ́ béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín wípé kí ni ìbáṣepọ̀ tó wà láàárín ẹ̀yin lọ́balọ́ba àti àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá? Ṣé ìbáṣepọ̀ yín dán mọ́rán? Wọ́n ní kí n béèrè lọ́wọ́ yín. Ẹ ṣé bàbá.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí n kọ́kọ́ sọ ti àwọn lọ́balọ́ba. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ ti àwọn lọ́balọ́ba. Kò sí nǹkan tá à ń ṣe tá a fi san àwọn ọba wa o. A dẹ̀ mọ nǹkan tó condition wọn tí àwọn ò fi lè máa jáde máa sọ̀rọ̀ bí tiwa. Ipò wọn ga púpọ̀ jù. Ipò wọn ga kí àwọn ò lè jáde máa sọ̀rọ̀ bí èmi àti wọ́n ṣe lè máa sọ̀rọ̀. Kò possible. Ó dijọ́ tí a bá ṣètò tó di wípé a fẹ́ negotiate láti kúrò negotiating around the negotiating table. We must make sure that the Yoruba delegation to Wambe will include some of our highest obas, because they are the persons who can talk for us with authority that no other person has. But as of today, we cannot ask them to talk for us. That's it. But are we close to them? Absolutely, we are close to them. One young oba said to me something very funny about around the time that we were celebrating Kiriji anniversary, Kiriji treaty anniversary. He said, Baba, ọmọ yín lèmi o, ẹ̀yin lẹ kọ́ mi ní school o, ẹ̀yin lẹ mo ti gbọ́ ní, and he's a big ọba tí n bá dé ààfin ẹ̀ mo máa dọ̀ mí o. Ọmọ mi ni lóòótọ́ ṣùgbọ́n tí n bá dé ààfin ẹ̀ mo máa dọ̀bálẹ̀ ni. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó wá ń sọ fún mi wípé ọmọ ilé mi ò bàbá, ẹ̀yin lẹ kọ́ mi ní school, ẹ̀yin lẹ tún kọ́ mi ní university. We are all solidly behind you. Tẹ́lẹ̀ ká tọ́ sókè, ìtẹ́bá ní kéèmí ọmọ yín kí n tọ́ sókè. Mi ò ní bèrè how high o, mi ò ní bèrè pé why, màá máa bèrè pé how high lẹ fẹ́ kí n tọ́ bàbá. Àmọ́ kábíyèsí ẹ má sọ orú nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ lẹ. Ẹ̀yin ni bàbá wa. àwọn ni bàbá wa o, but they are our father in a very constructive manner. And we are proud that when the time comes, they will be solidly behind their Yoruba nation. There is no doubt about that. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká máa bú wọn torí pé wọn ò sọ̀rọ̀. Àwọn ọmọdé kò yé àwọn ọmọdé. Wọ́n máa bú wọn, wọ́n máa sọ̀rọ̀ sí wọn lórí social media. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa yé àwọn ọba wa sí. Nǹkan tí àwa ń ṣe táwa ń sọ, àwọn ò tí ì lè ṣe, wọn ò tí ì lè sọ báyìí. Ìgbà kan ń bọ̀ tí wọ́n máa lè ṣe, tán máa bọ́ síwájú tó jẹ́ àwọn là á máa tẹ̀lé wípé kó máa bá wa sọ, kán máa bá wa ṣe. Nítorí náà ẹ jẹ́ ká ronú ọ̀la yẹn, ká má ronú ti pé wọ́n ń dákẹ́ lénìí. Àwọn ni bàbá wa o. They are the highest point of the political history and culture of the Yoruba nation. They are the people who will form our greatest ambassadors very soon in the negotiation for our determination. We are not going to fight a war. We are going to negotiate our way out of Nigeria. And for us to be able to do that, we must preserve our Obas in the uttermost dignity possible. That's àwọn ọba nìyẹn. Àwọn àgbààgbà wa tán ti ń ṣe politics tí a mọ̀ ní bàbá wa náà ni wọ́n. Gbogbo wa là ń jà fún restructuring. Èmi tí mò ń bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ restructuring mò ń jà fún náà títí di bí ọdún láìpẹ́ sẹ́yìn. Articles mo kọ náà ti publish nínú Tribune, nínú Nation, those two papers, under different pen names, are more than 450. And most of it about the justification, the need, and the advantages for restructuring. So restructuring ni gbogbo wa ń sọ. Restructuring ni kì í ṣe Afẹ́nifẹ́re nìkan. Àwọn bàbá wa tó wà láfẹ́nifẹ́re nǹkan tó ń sọ nìyẹn. Bọ̀ kì í ṣe àwọn nìkan. Gbogbo wa náà là ń sọ. Ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ máa ń dojú ibi tí èèyàn máa wò wípé kí ni mò ń ṣe yìí? Ṣé eléyìí make sense? Kò make sense láti máa sọ̀rọ̀ restructuring náà. Kíní nǹkan tí ò jẹ́ kó make sense mọ́ ni. Broadly, in a general sense, àwa ní south, southeast, southwest, and àwọn ará middle belt à ń wá restructuring so that we can return to a truly federal system. But àwọn èèyàn wa ní northwest wọ́n wá restructuring. Now here is the thing, kì í ṣe pé wọ́n lágbára láti sọ pé nǹkan táwọn bá fẹ́ nìkan ni, but nǹkan tó wà ń bẹ̀ ni. The power of democracy is in what the minority does after in the debate. If the minority say this country is going east, and if the majority says this country is going east, and the minority says no, we are going west, nothing will happen unless the minority agrees to surrender to the wish of the majority. Nothing. That's the power of democracy. If the minority refuses, something you can do except to start a war. That is it. In Nigeria, the minority says we will never agree to restructuring. I had to answer some of the northern elite in an article about 3 years ago, when they were threatening that rather than accept restructuring, we will go to war. And I answered them in a long article that was published under my name, Nigerian Thoughts, in the Nation newspaper. Yeah, there is no democracy here. The majority may say what they want. The minority is never going to surrender to them. And the only option would be if you will insist that what the majority wants is what you want to do, to start war against the minority. And nobody wants to do that. So it is not going to happen, no matter how much noise you make about it. That's the first thing. The second thing is this. even if restructuring happens today, káàtì ẹni àwa ṣe restructuring lẹ́ni kò wúlò mọ́. Kí ni ìdí tí ò fi wúlò mọ́? Látọdún karùn-ún làwọn Fúlàní náà ti ń sọ pé àwọn náà ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Áfíríkà Nàìjíríà pé wọ́n máa lé gbogbo wa kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ wa. Wọ́n ti ń rán àwọn herdsmen kó lọ máa ba oko jẹ́ kó máa destroy villages and so on. Táwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà àwọn àgbẹ̀ wa ló ti sá kúrò lórí oko tí wọ́n fi lóko mọ́. The purpose is to destroy the economy of our land so that we will become like Almajiri in Yoruba land, and so that they will be able to take over our land. They say in January 2019, I was a member of the delegation that the Yoruba leadership of Western Nigeria sent to Benue State after the Fulani had attacked Benue State on January 1. On January 5, we Yoruba leaders, led by Chief Banjo, and with me as his assistant, 4 of us, went to join with 4 people from Middle Belt, 4 people from South-South, 4 people from Southeast. We met in Abuja and chartered a jet to go to Makurdi. And when we got there, the governor had gathered all the elite of Benue State to meet us in a large hall. So we greeted them. Our father, Chief Adebanjo, spoke for us, for the Yoruba nation. And other people spoke for their own nation, 4 leaders of delegation. And when the governor answered, he said, I want you to listen to this very carefully. He said, we of Benue State thank you all for coming to commiserate with us, but I'm sad to let you know now that what has happened to us with about 70-something people killed, about many villages destroyed, and so on and so forth, on New Year Day, is a little thing compared with what is now facing us, what is now coming. So we brace ourselves to hear, what is he talking about? So he drew a letter out of his hand, out of his pocket, and he started to read to us. He said, these people who came to kill us like this on January 1 had sent a letter to us in December to say they were coming to kill and maim and destroy in our land. We have given the letter to all the authorities of Nigeria, but nobody had done anything. Now the same people, between their killing of January 1 and today, January 5, they have written another letter to us. And so here is the letter. The letter said, Mr. Governor of Benue State, we see you are carrying out mass burials and national mourning. But what has happened to you is a little thing compared with what is coming. We are coming to kill, to maim, to destroy in Benue State. And the problem you have with us is that your various ethnic groups, the thieves, the Jokun, and so on and so forth, think that the land they live in is their land. It is not their land. The fact that they have lived in it for thousands of years does not matter. It is not their land. Allah has now given it to us, and we have a reason to take it. And we are not talking about the ethnic groups in Benue State. We are talking ethnic groups in all parts of Nigeria. We are going to, all those Yoruba, Igbo, etc., we are going to drive them off their land and take over, subdue them. Whichever does not want to surrender, we will wipe out. And so, we have accumulated money and weapons for that war. And we have asked all Fulani people in all parts of West Africa to come and join us in taking over the land. And if you think your federal government will defend you, you are making a big mistake. Your federal government cannot defend you against us. That is it. That is the message. Whoever thinks that all these Fulani something say, oh, Katu Hada. No. The Katu Hada is the front line of an army that is coming, intending to conquer and take over Yoruba land, and we will never allow it. That's all. It's as simple as that. So,
thank you, sir.
My big query to those who want restructuring is this. If restructuring is done today and we have our region back, does that prohibit the Fulani from coming to our land? They will still be Nigerians. That's their claim. We are Nigerians and we can go anywhere we like. They will still be Nigerians and they can come everywhere they like. And we will still be in the same type of trouble. So restructuring is no longer sensible. It's no longer meaningful. The only thing that is sensible and meaningful now is that we must separate ourselves from a destructive development and make our people free again. That's all. That is all. But fortunately, our people are now beginning to recognize what I'm talking about. About 6 weeks ago, we held a summit, and I was invited there. I went to attend this. I was like a minority that day because I said, my brethren, let us stop talking about restructuring. And I gave my reasons. Yes. And I said, the only possible thing now is that we must find our way out of Nigeria. But when the majority carries the day, when they wrote the communique for that summit, the communique said that we had agreed that we will be fighting for restructuring until October 1 this year, all of us, and that after October 1, if nothing is happening about restructuring, then we will all join together to begin to seek our self-determination. I'm sure I remember that many of you thought I was, why? Baba, why did you go to that type of conference where they are talking of, I said, let it be. Because I knew that the conditions would favor us. Now the conditions have favored us. October 1 came. Not only is nothing happening about restructuring, the federal government has come out with a clear statement that there will be no restructuring. So on October 4, I began to call our fathers to tell them, just in anytime Baji restructuring until October 1, self-determination. So now what we should be doing is fighting for restructuring. And it's fighting for self-determination. And so a few days ago, another summit was held at which we are now agreed that we will be fighting for self-determination, that we will find a way to hold a referendum, and so on and so forth. So the goal is clearer in front of us, and the road to it is clearer. I don't know how much the other groups will contribute, but I take it that we in Ila'nọ ỌmọOodua are now giving a big weapon to move forward towards self-determination. We are now sure that we can talk about self-determination without being contradicted by our own men of our own blood, that we can go before the powers of the world to promote self-determination for the Yoruba nation without the fear that some of our own brethren at home will be throwing, will be shooting arrows at us. So I want to say congratulations to all of you abroad. The road is clearer now. The road is clearer now. A few days, a couple of days before the summit, I had been trying to reach the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, and I couldn't reach him. But some of you abroad found a way to bring us, both of us together, and so after that, we finally reached each other, and we talked. And Goyega Adejuma, who speaks for Oodua, no, for Afenifere, was also called onto the same telephone by the Ila'nọ ỌmọOodua. Actually, he called me. When I picked up the phone, he said, oh, Baba, hold on, your son Adejuma, Boyega is here. So I said, Boyega, ó ti ń bú bàbá ẹ̀ káàkiri láti yẹjọ́ ó ní ẹ̀yìn yín náà nìkan láti lè bú yín, a lè bú yín lójú yín. Mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ó bú mi náà, iṣẹ́ tí a ní ṣe ó ti délẹ̀ o. Ó dẹ̀ ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá, iṣẹ́ tá a ní ṣe ti délẹ̀. Sọ Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò wá gba tẹlifóònù lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀, àwa jọ sọ̀rọ̀. Inú mi dùn jọ́ yẹn tó jẹ́ pé kí n tó sùn lálẹ́ ẹjọ́ yẹn mo lọ send message sí Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò pé listen, you and Boyega have given me one of the happiest days of my life. The road forward to the salvation of our nation is now clearer ahead of us. Thank you very much. So that's the situation. You will be hearing more and more. On my part, I promise, I vow that I will do everything to make this a reality. I will make working with the other nationalities a reality. With the other groups. I am not advocating, I have never advocated that we Yoruba people should join together in one single large organization. I don't think it will work. We are Yoruba. We are Yoruba. We don't behave like that. It's better to let there be the organizations and let all of us be talking about our self-determination. In fact, in my view, it is more powerful to have tens or hundreds of organizations screaming self-determination here, self-determination there, self-determination morning, self-determination afternoon, self-determination night, than to have a single organization screaming it. That's my view. And I believe that we will find the inner workings of an agenda that will take us to our goal. I am sure about that.
Inú lérò pé inú gbogbo wa dùn nítorí aláti kò ń ṣe pé kàn jáde ló sọ pé bàbá sọ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nínú ń béèrè béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá ṣe parí bàbá Gani Adams fún ara wọn láì ṣe pé mo wọ wọn. Ṣé ti rẹ pọ eléyìí tí ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ó ti lọ́jọ́ méjì mẹ́ta tẹ́ẹ̀mù sí àwọn kan mọ̀ sí wípé àárín wọn òun náà lẹ tún ti gbọ́ yìí tí bàbá dẹ̀ sọ wípé kárìn kan á pọ̀ yẹni àbá ní 10 or hundreds of groups inú wọn dùn sí. Ṣé bí kí gbogbo wa ṣáà ti rọ́nà lọ ni? Ó fi hàn wípé ohun tí bàbá ń sọ òun ni bàbá Gani Adams ń sọ, òun náà ni bàbá wa Gbóyèga Adéjùmọ̀ ń sọ. So ohun wa ti kò, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ẹ̀ ń tẹnu ohun Yorùbá ò kò, ṣe rí pé ohun wa kò tá a bá jáde láti máa sọ̀rọ̀ fún yín, ìyẹn ò míì wípé iṣẹ́ òun lọ lábẹ́lẹ̀ àbí ohun wa ò kò. Bàbá wa ọpẹ́ là ń dú lọ́wọ́ yín nítorí pé ẹ̀yin gangan ní èjìká tẹ́ ẹ̀ jẹ́ ká ṣe ó jábọ́. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o, á ju yín ṣe, kò ní rẹ̀ yín. Ẹ gbọ́ ìlérí àwọn tí ya pàápàá àwọn Fúlàní tí wọ́n sọ fún wa wípé àwọn làwọn nílẹ̀ ibikíbi làwọn lè lọ káwọn dẹ̀ gbà á. Nígbà tí àwọn bàbá wa láwọn lọ síbẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ṣe lálàyé fún wa. Ṣé ìyẹn ò ti tó fún wa láti sọ pé kò sí ohun tó ń jẹ́ restructuring? Àti ẹ̀fẹ́ máa gbọ́, ó dàbí pé ẹnu ẹni tá a bá ti gbọ́ ń sìn a máa pariwo lé wọn lórí ni. Wọ́n ti ní ká má bú àgbààgbà, ká má rúdù sí wọn. À ń lọ sí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, ọmọ tán bá tiẹ̀ bí nílé ire kò ní rúdù ságbààgbà. Tí wọn bá jáde àwọn ọba lọ́ba àbí àwọn onípò tó lórúkọ, tí wọn bá wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ àmọ́ ohun tí wọ́n ń ṣe. Lára ẹ̀ ni bàbá wa ti jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé ìbáṣepọ̀ tó dán mọ́rán wà láàárín àwọn àti Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Ló bá tán, kí la tún fẹ́ gbọ́, kí la tún wá tá àti ìwé. Ẹ bá wa lọ fowó sí GoFundMe ká máa múra sílẹ̀. Yóò máa ń pọnmi sílẹ̀ dòǹgbẹ ni. A nídìí oúnjẹ ìrísọjù yẹn lọ ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ẹ lọ fowó sí GoFundMe. Ìwọ̀nba tá a gbọ́ lónìí, ẹ jẹ́ ká fi sínú, ká rò dáadáa wípé tá bá tiẹ̀ dákẹ́ tá a sọ̀rọ̀, iṣẹ́ ń lọ, kò dúró. Odùduwà nation ó ti di gbígbà fún wa, a dẹ̀ ní láti gbà á. Mo fẹ́ fi yín lọ́kàn balẹ̀ wípé iṣẹ́ ń lọ ní gbogbo mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àgbáyé ní iṣẹ́ tí ń lọ. nítorí náà tí àbá máa pariwo bíi ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ariwo ń lọ lọ́wọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni iṣẹ́ sì ń lọ pẹ̀lú eléyìí tó ṣe pàtàkì awuyewuye tó ń lọ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ YWC àti ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà ó ti yé wa dáadáa ń sìn wípé kò sí YWC mọ́ ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà ló wà. Ìwọ tó bá ṣì wà nínú ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n pè ní YWC tètè lọ wá bó ṣe máa darapọ̀ mọ́ ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà nítorí pé kò sí ohun tó ń jẹ́ YWC mọ́. Ẹ ti gbọ́ lẹ́nu bàbá sì ní olórí wa náà síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ ní ìlànà ọmọ Oòduà. Títí di ọjọ́ mi ọjọ́ rí pàápàá lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la tí a ó ní ààyè láti ti sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ire lójú owó ń rí. Ó dìgbà ká tún ríra.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the newly formed Ududuwa Nation.